Good morning to you. This is Reg Kelly with Table in the Wilderness. We're going to have to run fast today. And I've got a little clip I want to bring to you entitled, Why Liberals Aren't Liberal. Liberals are liars. It's a beautiful morning out here in the Ozarks. But you know, I get tired of listening to all these liberal lies. And so I've been thinking about it. And of course, I got my old trusty Bible with me, my old authorized version, King James Bible. And I found them in the Bible. In fact, I found the original liberal in the Bible. It's in John chapter 12. He may not be the original liberal, but he's real close. In John chapter 5, the Bible talks about a place where Jesus was at Mary and Martha and Lazarus' house. And Judas was with them. And the Bible talks about the fact that she took this alabaster box of ointment, very costly, the Bible said, and she broke it. And she poured that oil out on Jesus' feet to anoint him, and she dried his feet with the hairs of her head. The Bible said down in verse number 5, that in verse number 5 says that one of the, Judas, the disciple, said this. He said, why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? Then the Bible records something. You see, God sees inside the heart. He said that this he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the bag and bare what was put therein. You see, he was a typical liberal. He had the bag. Those liberals, they got the bag, and they'll lie to you all day long acting like they care for the poor, but they really don't. They're liars. In fact, in Genesis chapter 3, in verse number 5, the first thing out of Satan's mouth, he told Eve, he said, you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And here's what liberalism does. Liberalism does away with the God of the Bible, replaces it with little gods of themselves that they know the difference. They know what's good and evil. Instead of God deciding what's and determining what's right and wrong, they determine what's right and wrong. So really, Satan was the original liberal, and Judas, he was just following him because the Bible said Satan entered into him. So he's a liberal. Now, you say, Reggie, I'm going to talk, these liberals in America, they're liars. Plain and simple, they're liars. You say, Reggie, what are you talking about? Let's get right to it today. They're hypocritical liars. Now, here's what they do. They'll talk about that we ought to, have all these programs and tax the working man and tax the businessman and tax the taxpayer to death for all these liberal, socialistic, communistic programs and make people dependent and feel an entitlement from the government. Well, here's what I'm going to say to you. A liberal is not a liberal in this country. They've done it like they've done every other name. I mean, they call adultery an affair, they call a sodomite gay, and on and on and on, but they always give another name to their sin. And they always make it sound better than it is. So, first of all, if they were really liberal, they would give. A liberal person is a person who gives of what they have. They're not selfish, they're caring, they're compassionate, and they give of what they have, not of what somebody else has, to the poor, okay? So, you liberals, you stole the name to deceive people. You're not liberal with your money, you're liberal with the taxpayers' money, with the workers' money. Other people's money. That's all you're liberal with. You want to tax other people so you can take it and give to these people over here, buy their votes with it, buy their support with it, and make them think that you're the cause of what they got. Well, anyway, so I'm just going to say to you, sorry, worthless, low-down scumbag liberals out there today, that you're a nest of vipers and serpents, and you call yourself liberals, but you're lying hypocrites. So I'm just going to ID some right now. Let's talk about Tom Hanks. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Bill and Hillary Clinton. I'm talking to Obama's. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Kate Perry. I'm talking to Nancy Pelosi. I'm talking to Harry Reid, little Chuck E. Cheese Schumer. I'm talking to Elizabeth Warren. I'm talking to Oprah Winfrey and George Clooney and Steven Spielberg and Robert Redford and I wouldn't want to forget Meryl Streep, who gets up there at the Oscars and talks about the poor and George Soros, of course, and Al Gore. We don't want to forget Al, and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon. And so all you liberals, I'm just naming you because you're the ones who head up all this liberal stuff. You liberals. You're in the political, the media, the entertainment world, and so forth. So you're in the education and so forth. Okay, so you're the liberal line pond scum leader. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to issue a dare today. If you're really liberal and you're not a liar and you're not a deceiver like Judas was, and you claim to care for the poor, but you really don't because you got the bag, then I'm going to make you a challenge. I'm going to ask you to give everything that you own except $100,000 to the poor and the homeless, the widows and the orphans. Okay? Now you get to keep $100,000. I tell you what, let's do. Let's make it $200,000. I don't, if you're worth 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 40 million, doesn't matter. Because I know something about you liberals. You want everybody to be socially equal. You believe in equality. So here's what I want you to do. I dare you, if you're not a stinking, low-down, lying, viper, serpent, liberal liar, you take your wealth and you give it all the way to the poor personally, not to some organization somewhere. I want you to cash it all out down at the bank, get $100 bills, pack them up in however groups you want to, and I want you to head for the inner cities and the poor and the trailer parks and places, you know, what that you're all the time talking about, and go down into the poor places and go down to, you know, and to, you know, the orphans and the widows, and I want you to give it all the way down to, well, 100,000 is what I'd really like, but let's go 200,000, you know, because anyway, and the other good part about this is it's going to make you equal with everybody. It's going to accomplish what you really say that you want for America anyway. So anyway, I dare you give all that. Now, the second thing I want you lying liberals to do is open your home to the homeless. I mean, we're having a problem. We got these people living out here, you know, and I mean, you know, just they're on the corners of the streets holding their signs and everything. And I want you to just stop and say, hey, hop in the car, man. I'm going to take you to my house. I've got an extra bedroom, maybe 2 extra bedrooms. And I want you to take the homeless to your house. And then I want you to take, if they don't want to go in your house, they're not comfortable there, at least open up your gated fenced lawn to them, would you? Your gated community lawn. And so you could have a nice homeless park out there in your big old yard inside those gates. They'd be safe at night and everything. It'd be wonderful. So just asking you lying liberals to do that. Open your houses to the homeless. And then I want you to, again, now to go to the bank, and I want you to get $100 bills, and I want you to put them, and I want you to head down to the poor section of your city, and I want you to give it away. Let's see if you're honestly, truly liberal. No Clinton Foundation stuff. No. I don't trust you. Let's just really give it away, okay? And I don't care if you're keeping records about it so you can get a tax deduction, but I want you to give it away personally, and I want you to give it away in cash, all right? Then, as I said, let's get the immigrants inside your gated lawns. You love the Muslims so much, you want them to be in here. So I want you to have a Muslim, especially you sodomites. Yeah, you sodomites, you queer gay outfit, you transgenders. I want you to invite the Muslims to live in your house while they're immigrating. A lot of them are coming over here, I guess, maybe with nothing. They need a home to live in. And so we want you sodomites, especially you sodomites and transgenders. We want you to invite the Muslim immigrants into your home specifically. That'll be a special category for you, okay? And so anyway, boy, we're having a great time today. And then another thing I think you liberals ought to do is give your house and lot back to the Indians. Now, if you don't sell your house and lot and cash that out, bring yourself down to $100,000, I do want you to give your house, because I know that you have a special affinity for Native Americans. I've watched that. You really care about them. And then the other thing I kind of think you might want to do is, there's these people wanting black slave reparation payments. Well, then you liberals really believe in that. Let's sell your house and your lot and maybe some of your other assets and your stocks and bonds, and let's give that to some of the black folks so that they can get their reparations from you who believe in that garbage, okay? So anyway, so I just want to, no, you're not going to do that because you're a lying liberal hypocrite. Everything I've said, you're not going to do it all because you're going to be like that rich man that came to Jesus and, what, my good master, what must I do to inherit eternal life? And then he'd go to talking about everything he had done since his youth. He had been such a sweetie little thing. Jesus said, I'll tell you what you do. Sell everything you got and come follow me. The Bible said he went away sorrowful, for he had great riches. That's what you're going to do, except you're not going to go away sorrowful from this video. You're going to go away mad. Oh, listen. It's a wonderful thing to have the truth. You liberals don't have it. You know why you don't have it? Because you don't trust this book. You don't follow the Savior of this book, the Lord Jesus Christ. So he's truth, and the Bible's truth, so you don't have truth. That's why you're just a bunch of liberal liars, just like Judas was, okay? So anyway, Bernie Sanders, I forgot about you. Doggone it, I apologize, Bernie. You're one of the leading social outfits in this country. Now, here's what I think. Bernie, I'm going to help you be a liberal. I'm going to help you be a socialist, okay? Communist, because you're really a communist socialist. You know, you liberals don't like to use the word, you like the word Nazi and so forth, but you don't like the word communist because that's what you are. So Bernie, here's your deal. Bernie, you sell everything you've got, give it to the poor, then go down to Venezuela and run for president. Get Venezuela fixed before you run for president up here. How about that, buddy? Okay. Thanks, Bernie. Appreciate that. I know you're running to the bank today and get everything took care of and head to Venezuela, a flight to Venezuela tonight. You can keep enough money to go to Venezuela on an airplane. In fact, if you don't have enough left, we'll take up a little collection and get you there. So, but anyway, the truth about it is you liberals are a bunch of old sows and dogs vomiting out your pukish lies, your Marxism, your Darwinism, your socialism, your communism, and then you get on your TV shows like The View and Orpha and all that junk and all them talk shows and the CNN and MSNBC, and you vomit that junk out, and then you sit around those tables and you lick it up. You lick your own vomit. You just sit there, Matt Pelley and Don Lemon and all you guys, you sit there and you lick up your own liberal vomit every day of your life. Don't you get tired of that? Don't you get tired of being deceived? Well, old Judas said, man, I want to give to the poor. No, what you do is you steal from the taxpayers and the workers and the business people of America constantly with your tax programs. And, you know, Jesus dealt with your kind. Let me say something to you. I've been to Russia. Don't talk to me about it. I've been to a lot of Muslim countries. Don't talk to me about it. They have nothing. Russia has nothing that I wanted. Nothing. If you haven't been there, you ought to go there. In fact, if it is Bernie and Elizabeth, if you like that garbage, go live there. A lot of people, you have to pay your flight there. And you college punk snowflakes that come to your altar of worship every morning in your little college liberal professor's class, and you bow down on your knees and you lick his toes, and then you put your mouth to the sewer pipe of liberalism and you drink out of it every day. Well, I got a suggestion for you too. I think you ought to take your college funds and give them to the poor. Be a true liberal. Be a true liberal, snowflake. Take all your inheritance from your rich mom and daddies who live in the gated communities and vote for Obama and Hillary. And take all of your assets and your inheritance and your college funds and give it to the poor and the orphans, and go into the inner cities and just dish it out in $100 bills. But you're not going to do that because you are hypocrites. You learned it well, didn't you, from your little liberal college professors, while you sit on your rear end and do nothing while other Americans work to make a place for you to lay around and do nothing. Well, you're not liberals, you're liars. There's another verse before we close out. It's in Isaiah 32. Bible's always ahead of time. The Bible's history in advance. Listen to what the Bible talks. In Isaiah 32, he's prophesying about a time in the future, and here's what he says. There'll be a time, it says in verse 5, when the vile person shall no more be called a liberal. There's coming a day when God's going to say, I'm not going to let you liberals get by with your lying anymore. You're not liberal. You're not liberal, you're a liar. This is Reg Kelly, Table in the Wilderness. See you next time.